What's up, guys? It's Bobby Buckets, and I'm here with the NBA 2K24 video going over the new gameplay changes to the new game. You've seen today, they dropped the gameplay trailer of the new game, and they also dropped the courtside report, which they do every year, talking about the different changes. If you haven't seen the gameplay trailer, go ahead and check the description. The link is in there, and same as the courtside report, which I'll be going through. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. You can see they got the trailer right here. They pretty much do, a little introduction here, talking about the ProPlay. You can see the game. They're talking about realism. They're trying to make the game as realistic as possible. I feel like that's like their angle this year. This is specifically for the next-gen consoles, PS5 and the Xbox X/S. You can see he talks about Mike Wang going through here. So this is all just the intro. We'll pretty much just skip that part. We'll go here. What's the difference? So what's the difference in the new game? It says, if you ever imagine and practice hitting a contested shot over the hands of an invisible defender on the blacktop in your driveway or in the gym, you know it's simply not the same as experiencing it in a real game. That's essentially the difference between mocap and ProPlay. So mocap, it seems to be the engine that kind of drives the animations and stuff in the old 2K games. This year they're adding the ProPlay, which is kind of going for the more realistic and real moves that NBA players are doing in the game. You see here, it says the shots motion anytime the player is moving off ball around the court, dribbling, rebounds, blocks, passes, free throws feel different in NBA 2K24 New Gen because they've been captured in real-time scenarios. Previous iterations of NBA 2K have featured various of dribble packages and unique jump shots, but all these are kind of different than what they usually do. So the ProPlay, you see, it talks about it here. ProPlay technology generates authentic movements that can only be made by some of your favorite players. For example, students of the game and avid NBA fans will recognize Kevin Durant, unique jump shot in free throw form, Steph Curry's explosive dribble moves, an array of off-dribble jumpers, Jokic methodical moves, and feathery touch around the rim, and the list goes on and on. ProPlay makes the game look and feel more believable and reduces the amount of breaks and authenticity. So pretty much what they're saying, they took stuff that players are doing in real games. You can see the example here, the side-by-side Kevin Durant. That's also in the gameplay trailer. But just the moves that they're doing in real NBA games, they're trying to put into 2K to make it as real as possible. So how people feel about that, if you want the game to be as realistic as possible, this should be a good step in the right direction. So new animations, every aspect of the game receives an added layer of realism that's visible in every moment and interaction. Here are some of the new animations for new gen powered by ProPlay: jump shots, dunks, layups, dribble moves, pass animations, signature movement, offense, defense. So pretty much it seems like everything with the ProPlay, they changed everything in the game to make it with the new engine of ProPlay. You've seen that talk about like the Madden new engines and stuff like that. They changed over time. Same thing with 2K. So while the primary actions certainly benefit from the ultra realistic tech, they aren't the only areas you'll notice. Casual inbound passes and otherwise unremarkable motions that aren't a priority during mocap have now been scanned to cover even the most minute detail. So pretty much they're trying to change all the different things in the game to make it more realistic, whether it's just people inbounding the ball. So yeah, let's go into down here. So in this video, I'm not going to show the videos, as I said. Like I said, the link is for this is in the thing. But after watching the video and reading these, it pretty much all these articles explain what Mike Wang says in the videos. So I'm gonna just read and go through the articles. So it says when it comes to offense, shooting and dribbling are more accessible and intuitive. I'm not even gonna try to say that. I just butchered that. So don't roast me too much in the comments. Ever before, enabling players of all skill levels to flourish on the court, whether you're a new player, a returning player, or an experienced veteran. So shot timing. So players who play on Hall of Fame difficulty or in the rec or city, so pretty much in comp modes, we'll be playing with green or miss shot timing for the ultimate challenge. So green or miss is still in the game. But team control base modes, quick play, my NBA, or my team will see more forgiving shot timing, so you won't have to memorize every single player's release to the exact frame to be successful. So pretty much it seems like if you playing my player or stuff that you're only controlling your one player, where you pick your jump shot specifically, you only have to know your player's jump shot, then it's green or miss. If you are playing in the 5v5 modes where you have to control multiple people, it seems like it either not green or miss, or it's just like the shot time is going to be a lot easier. So I think, that's a good thing. I still think it's good to have the, green or miss aspect in the comp setting. So that would be interesting. So green or miss is still in the game. The shot timing release time setting from NBA 2K23 has been converted to a new setting called shot timing visual cue. Now, instead of time-based, you can set your desired release point based on certain animation cues like the jump or set point or shot release. So I think pretty much it also says this makes it much easier to play with players and teams you're not as familiar with. So pretty much I think it's different than, the shot timing last year was early, very early, late, all that. Now it's like, okay, you can set your jump shot to, at the release point, at the jump, or at a certain set point, it feels like. So they kind of changed that. I feel like it's still pretty similar. It's like, okay, you always got to release it at the release point. Some are going to be faster, some are going to be slower. So a little bit of a difference, but I feel like the shot timing, we'll see how that affects the game. Layup timing is now on by default and has also been redesigned to be much more forgiving for easy finishes at the rim, while also rewarding players who master it with the ability to finish tough circus layups in traffic. You also find that advanced layups like floaters, reverses, euros, hop steps, and scoops are much more effective this year and great tools to have as a slasher. So this is something they wanted in last year too. They wanted people to start using the layup timing. The problem with the layup timing is if you get an easy layup, you might miss with the layup timing on compared to off. So it seems like with the layup timing, you can still mistime easy layups and still make them. So that would be good. While they want people to use it because you can do more advanced finishes and make contested layups. It seems like what they're going for. So it'll be interesting to see how good those are. The layup timing, how much of a boost you can get. Because, a bunch of Kyrie's finishing layups here and there will be insane. It also says it's on by default, so they want people to use layup timing, which is kind of surprising. I'm interested to see how these work. I want to see, some of the older 2Ks floaters were really good. Euro steps were really good. I want to see if those moves actually are going to be usable because that would be kind of cool to see the skill gap within the slashers. So for dunkers, on new gen consoles, you can now force controllable rim hangs from any two-hand dunk by simply keeping the sprint trigger held down when the dunker grabs the rim. Down on the pro stick will give you flashy dunks to get the crowd hyped, and up down or down up double throws will let you attempt contact dunks in traffic with the dunk meter. Meter dunks are green or miss. That's huge. Meter dunks are green or miss on higher difficulty levels now, so you have to be precise to finish off the play. I like that because I think there's nothing worse. Last second on the shot clock, people go up with meter dunks and, they're shooting slightly late, slightly early, and they're making, stick dunks, contact dunks. So green or miss on dunks, pretty much I think it says higher difficulty, which will mean the comp modes as well. It will be interesting. So that's good. The pro stick dunks and all that, I don't think it's too much of a difference. I know the rim hangs and stuff. I don't think that's going to make too much of a difference. So paint play. Bigs are going to have a lot of fun dominating in the paint in NBA 2K24. You can now branch out of any offensive rebound to a putback attempt by simply pressing the shoot button after the catch. That will be interesting to see being able to get putbacks a little easier. I wonder if putback dunks are going to be back and a lot easier. I know you can get them, but they're kind of hard to do. Post fades and hop shots are also really effective shots for post players. That's going to be interesting to see how that actually works. If people are just post faded, I know you see Black Cobra out there fading in the rec. So I wonder if that's going to be even worse trying to guard him. Strength and weight can definitely be felt in the paint as high-rated glass cleaners easily grab boards over smaller players and finish those easy second chance points. This will be interesting in creating players' strength and weight. How much is that really going to matter? Because I know in the past we've seen, they say strength and weight is going to matter and it never does. So hopefully it does matter where, if you got high strength and weight, then maybe you're not getting those push animations where people are just pushing and finishing over you. So at the same time, on offense, if you do have strong weight, maybe you can just do that. That's the shooting breakdowns. Let's go into the dribble breakdown. This is some interesting news. I actually kind of like this change, but I'm going to go into it. So it says shooting has been customized and improved for all the various modes, difficulties, and player skill levels, but in order to get high percentage shots, you need to know how to create separation with your dribbling. Mike Wang, favorite elements in NBA 2K24 are the dribble breakdowns. Each player has two versions. Regular breakdowns are done by flicking up on the right analog stick, and aggressive breakdowns are done by flicking up on the right analog stick with sprint held. So those are going to give you the two different sides of animations You see, it says they'll initiate a sequence of signature size-up moves that you can use to create separation with on their own or branch out at any time for an explosive drive or other dribble moves. Okay, this year's dribble system features more dribble combos, including signature double crosses and hesitation crosses from a standstill or while moving. With ProPlay on new gen, your favorite ball handlers feel more explosive than ever and have unique signature combos and escapes that will put defenders on skates if used properly. So pretty much saying that they add the different, some more size ups. You got the two different versions with turbo and without turbo. It says another major addition to the dribbling arsenal is the blowout dribble. Tapping the sprint trigger while moving will give you a quick burst of speed where ball handlers push the ball ahead to get out quickly in transition. So this is in the back court pretty much. And then it says in the front court, the same mechanic can be used for a quick change of pace to quickly blow by unsuspecting defenders. So I wonder if this is going to be similar to the speed boost, that's referred to, if by tapping the sprint is going to give you, the quick burst speed boost, as, most of us will call it. That would be interesting to see how that actually works with the gameplay mechanic. Now, this is the big part of the dribbling. Adrenaline boosts. Now, it says adrenaline boosts are back, but have been redesigned to make both offense and defense more engaging at the same time. On offense, boosts are no longer lost when pulling off dribble combos or moving short distances, giving elite ball handlers much more freedom to create off the bounce. So, adrenaline boosts do not, you do dribble moves and you speed boost out of it, you do not lose adrenaline boost for that. You can just, you ball handlers can dribble. You got all your adrenaline boosts. But you will lose boost every time the on-ball defender can bump the ball handler on a drive attempt. So if you get bumped, if a defender bumps you, that is how you lose adrenaline boost. Now, what does that do? The cost of losing adrenaline boost is different this year as well. Instead of dramatically slowing the ball handler's movement down, losing adrenaline will now heavily impact shooting attributes. So instead of you moving slower because you don't have adrenaline boost, your shooting is going to be impacted. So it's going to be harder to score after you lose your adrenaline boost, not harder to dribble. That will be interesting. So if a good defender can clamp the ball handler down and bump them 2 or 3 times in a single possession, they'll have a really tough time scoring if they can manage to get free. I kind of like that change because now it allows ball handlers, they can get open as much as they want. And it makes the defender, you got to play defense. You got to get a bump to make them lose their adrenaline. It's kind of, in a real life basketball sense, it's like, okay, if someone's over here over dribbling, usually they're going to get tired and it's harder to score. You still can, but it's going to be harder to score. But at the same time, they're not going to move slower because you bumped them, whatever. They're still going to move fast. But when they shoot it, it's going to be a little bit harder. It's going to be a tougher shot. I think that's what they're going with here. I know, shout out my boy Wolf, who works with 2K. He was my teammate on the Pacers in the 2K League. I feel like this is something he had to do with. I know he's talked about the adrenaline boost in the past when he went out there last year in the 2K. I feel like he had something to do with this. He used to play lock, so I feel like he wanted to have control of the adrenaline boost. So shout out to Wolf. And then, continuing on, it says creating your own shot off the dribble isn't the only way to get good shots in the game of basketball. Knowing how to operate away from the ball is just as important. NBA 2K24 features in-depth off-ball offense controls to perform right analog stick jukes and other quick explosive moves to free yourself up for a shot or cut to the basket. Just like the ball handler, off-ball offense also supports speed burst by tapping the sprint trigger. These will give players a huge burst of speed to find open spots on the floor for spot-up shots or easy rim runs for dunks and layups. This is going to be interesting. They've tried to do this again in the past by trying to make the off-ball movement better. They've talked about it. You can use your right stick to do all these moves. It hasn't really been too much. We'll see how much it works this year. Maybe sharps are really good in the pro-am sense, being the Dex, off-ball, Klay Thompson type of players. So that will be interesting, but not too much there. Okay, skill-based defense. Along with the changes to adrenaline, counter moves are big in NBA 2K24. Perimeter and paint defense are both more effective and reward players for anticipating and making good reads. Defensive movement has improved on many fronts with better, responsive, and less sliding. Less sliding is always good to hear. We'll see how that actually works. Obviously, we hope the movement is better on defense every year. This helps defenders get where they need to be, and with much improved body-up system, ball handlers will have a tough time getting free against great defenders. So this could be a good balance. You say, okay, Dribble player or, guards, ball handlers, y'all don't lose adrenaline boost. Y'all can move as fast as y'all want. But defenders, if they can get the bump, they can predict where you're going, get a bump. The body up's going to be better. It's going to make you lose your adrenaline and make it hard to score. So I like the balance. Hopefully it's well balanced when the game comes out. We'll have to see. But I like where they're going with this. The improved contact can also be felt in the paint. Big defensive anchors will have a much easier time putting a body on shooters at the rim and forcing tough shots. This is kind of important because if you see in 2K23, a lot of times the bigs can just push the defender under the rim and just go up. I wonder to see if you have that weight and strength matter, if they get those body up contacts like the old 2Ks where you just body up and you don't have to jump. We'll see how that works. I hope there's a good balance because I don't want it where, a couple 2Ks ago you couldn't mash at all. This year you can mash. I want there to be a good balance. Maybe it's your build, maybe it's the player. We'll see how the balance works. Also, if you're making post scoring a little better, maybe it can kind of work where if you get bumped, you can go into a post move, post tuck if you're good there. So we'll see how the balance works. Directional steals are also back, giving locks more tools to pester ball handlers. You need to reach with the correct hand closest to the ball and avoid reaching across the body to maximize success and avoid foul calls. You can also use directional steals to play the passing lanes by flicking the right stick in the correct direction to get your hand in the way and deflect the pass. So I kind of like this. I know they took this out a few 2Ks ago where, you control what hand you reach in, where now it's more of a skill gap to getting on-ball steals. So hopefully on-ball steals are a little better than last year. Hopefully it's not too OP where, you can just steal it a bunch. So that'll be interesting to see and how much the foul calls actually work. Directional steals in the passing lanes will be interesting. The pass lanes are always already tough, but maybe you can see it's going to be tough to make those cross-court passes if everyone can just flick the right stick in the right direction and tip passes. So we'll wait to see on that. This is also big here. NBA 2K24 features revamped contest logic that puts a greater weight on body positioning compared to previous years. The new system addresses the ghost contest issues in past games and makes the coverage scores line up much closer to what gamers will expect. So they're saying they address ghost contests, which I think is good. We'll have to see how that contest system works, though, because I know it's going to be tough if you're not getting contested you in front of people. I feel like last year the contest wasn't too bad because I feel like in 2K23 it's like sometimes people shoot shots and you're like, wow, that was open. And you feel like you should have got a contest. So hopefully there's a good balance. The past 2Ks before 2K23, the ghost contest was really bad. So it'll be interesting to see where they go with this. Blocking requires more skill this year also. It's important to read the offense and wait for the correct time and opportunity to block or to attempt blocks. If you're behind the shooter, jumping too early, biting on fakes, or out of position, attempting a late closeout, you'll quickly find yourself racking up fouls or giving shooters and one opportunities. I feel like it was already tough in 2K23 to get blocked, so I don't know. Hopefully there's a good balance. I don't want to see too many fouls on jump shots and stuff. I know you say, oh, well, maybe you shouldn't jump. Well, it's just kind of finding that balance. If the contest system's bad and you have to jump, then, you don't want to get a foul every time you jump. So it'll be interesting to see. Hopefully there's a good balance there. Understanding when to act on your defensive instincts could pay dividends for your team in a pivotal moment of the game. So that will be interesting to see the contest system, the blocking system. Maybe the paint defense is so good where you don't have to go back to jumping as much. So we'll be interested to see there. Takeover returns to NBA 2K24 on new gen consoles, but with a different spin. In the past, you selected takeover abilities as part of the build creating process. When you got hot in game, your takeover abilities would then activate and improve your player's ability in the category you chose. This year, you don't assign a takeover during the build phase. Instead, you have the ability to choose whatever you want on the fly. So that's different. Now, every build gets every takeover pretty much. So it says when you fill up the takeover meter, you can pull up a menu that lets you choose between finishing, shooting, playmaking, defensive rebounding, or physical. So what this pretty much means, if I have a 25 dunk, I can still equip finishing takeover if I want during the game. I can decide during the game in the moment what takeover I want. It says activating one of those categories will boost all your ratings in that specific category. So I could have a 25 3 ball. I'm like, you know what? I got takeover. I'm go shooting. So obviously you probably wouldn't do that, but it'll be interesting. Another key thing here is they added physicals. So adding physicals to your specific category. Now you can, if you get takeover, you can add up your speed, all that physical. So it'll be interesting to see. I know for a lot of animations, right, when you're playing My Career and stuff like that, or Pro-Am, all that, you know, there's certain thresholds for certain things, whatever people say, speed boosting, dribble moves, all that type of stuff. I wonder how much that's going to affect if you get takeover. You say, I want to boost my speed. Now you can speed boost with a build that wasn't supposed to be able to speed boost. That will be interesting to see how that works. So now you have the flexibility to evaluate what's happening on the court to see what your team needs before deciding how you want to take over. So, you know, you're down a lot of points. You need some threes. You might, you know, say, you know what? I need shooting takeover, get us back in the game. You need a couple stops. You might go defense rebounding, whatever it is. You're playing against a 7-3 behemoth, and he's just getting every rebound. You might say, well, you need some rebound. I'm putting my rebound takeover on. So if you delay your takeover activation and fill up the second meter, you can activate double takeover, which allows you just like 2 different categories of ratings boost, so it gives you more options. Then finally, when you unlock Mamba Mentality, activating double takeover will boost all of your attribute categories, making you a true beast on both ends of the court. So that pretty much activates everything. I wonder if that's going to be in like the Pro-Am modes and stuff like that. Would be interesting. All right, this is kind of more gets into some 5v5 stuff. I mean, I don't play too much of that, but I'll go over it anyways. Coach with ease. You want the ball in your hands as the clock winds down, but you need to play to get open. With the turn of 2K Smart Play, it's easy to make simplified play calls while running the offense. After any made or missed shots, new gen players will notice an overlay that appears and tell you the type of play that will be called. To opt into the play, simply tap L1 or the left bumper before crossing half court. That action will then automatically be called for the player with the most relevant play type. So I feel like this is like Madden coach suggestion. You know, thing pops up to call the play, you pick the play. So that's kind of cool if you don't really want to call plays, but you want to run plays. You don't want to go through the D-pad. And here's here to call your favorite plays, press the directional pad to the left and choose from up to 16 of your preferred actions, where you can call anything from full court plays to isolations and give and goes. Everything about the offense, defense, and coaching has been streamlined to make NBA 2K24 more enjoyable for all. So that seems like the same as in the past, so not too much change there. Freelance. Now, for those who want to dig deeper into the X and O's of NBA 2K24, this year we added a new freelance called Comp. This freelance is for competitive players who prefer to control all the movements of their AI teammates. There are no pass or cut actions in Comp Freelance. The AI players space the floor in a 5-out set. All actions are triggered by the user using the 16 favorite plays and actions available on the directional pad left. So this is, I feel like you don't have to get a playbook now. You used to get a Bucks playbook to get a 5-out. Now there's just a comp setting where it puts them in 5-out. You can have it where they don't do anything. I'm not going to read all this. You guys can go read it, but pretty much I read it earlier. Pretty much with this, it gives you mini plays, get different actions. I feel like this is supposed to be fist screen right here. So 2K, I know, you know, if you need someone to proofread it, I'm here for you, because I'm pretty sure it's not supposed to be first screen with the ball screen. It's supposed to be fist screen with the ball screen. But these give you different quick play options out of the comp setting. There's also a motion freelance that it creates scoring options for players who don't want to, you know, master the playbooks. They'll automatically run actions based on the players on the floor, so the user's not to call anything. And it says the motion freelance can morph 3-out, 4-out, 5-out. So I think those would be cool for, you know, people that play my team and quick match and stuff. That makes it change. And the last part is just substitutions. It has new lineups and substitution engine, pretty much the AI. This is all about the AI stuff, but pretty much instead of just 5 players subbing in for 5 players, it'll kind of, you know, go more towards the NBA tradition of having it where, like, you keep 1 scorer in, 2 scorers, or 3 scorer lineup. So pretty much, you know, you look at the Suns, instead of subbing out D-Book, KD, and Bradley Beal, maybe when they sub, they'll keep 1 of them in or 2 of them in to start the second quarter and kind of rotate that way. So that'll be interesting to see. Also supports 6-man lineups who have a bench player who can carry the load. So maybe those do 5 in and 5 out. And then it says having the system built on the ACE offensive game plan engine means that offensive focus can change dynamically with the lineup. So this will be cool just to see. I don't think it matters too much for users, because usually you can just set your own lineup changes. And at the end, just so everyone knows, ProPlay technology is only available on new gen console. So that's going to be it for this video. It's a lot to take in. I know the gameplay is going to be, you know, a lot different. I hope there's a good balance. I like some of the stuff they're going with the adrenaline boost, and, you know, hopefully ball handlers can move well, and, you know, defense get a bump, use some more skill and stuff like that. So that's all I have. If, like I said at the beginning of the video, if you haven't checked out the trailer, Check out the link in the description. Also, the courtside report, there's also a link in the description. But that's it for this video, and I hope to see y'all in the next one.